Hello everyone, welcome back to QueenTiti Loves. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, share this video so everybody else can see it. So today I am going to be brave because remember this month I am trying to do some stuff. I don't know, let's see. But I want to wear lashes, so I think that I love lashes, but I just don't know how to put them on. And I try, but it just don't work out right. What I can tell you is I got everything right here, so it ain't no searching, so I can get straight to the topic and start practicing right away. And if you haven't, except my mirror is not plugged in. 1 second. Okay, I cut that out, I'm sure. And I already got my lips greased up. I did my facial treatment. No, I'm not doing my brows, but for the sake of not looking like Wolverine's wife, I didn't touch up my face, so I could at least brush them in place so that y'all don't have to see me looking a whole hot mess, right? So y'all already know things that's going on in my world. I hope y'all are having a great start to Q4 and everything is looking good for you. If you haven't started, why haven't you started? Because I'm telling you, you're not going to get nowhere if you don't start. You got to start. And yes, I'm talking mess because I started, but doesn't matter. I had already started some other stuff. So what we are going to talk about today is going to be really quick because I'm just going to play with the eyelashes a couple of times. I'm not going to put glue on them because I really just want to see if I can place them where they need to go according to what all I have looked up to try to help me. And then I'm using my tool that I have. So it's a eyelash tool that I just got. I ordered it online somewhere. But let's see if I can do it. I am going to put a little bit of mascara so I could push my eyelashes down because they do point up and that's not going to work. I also want to use the bigger side of my mirror when I'm looking down. So this month we talked about being courageous and moving into Q4 with a plan and either wrapping up or starting something that you haven't started that you've been wanting to start. But either way, it's the perfect time to get into whatever you want to try. So I don't care if you want to learn how to skate again, do double dutch, learn how to use makeup, applying techniques with me. I really don't care what it is. Whatever it is that your heart desires, learning how to cook, beginning a healthy eating regimen, drinking more water. It really doesn't matter what the goal is, but you have to start it if you want to move into the beginning of next year without saying hashtag new year, new me. First of all, it's never really a new you. You usually just step into your purpose, which is completely awesome. And I probably shouldn't be moving in a curling motion, but I can already see one that's pointing down. So I have been doing low carb, and yes, I use tweezers to get it off if the mascara doesn't work. I did start low carb. I am doing well. Is it easy? I don't know. It depends on your definition of easy, because I generally don't have like an eating schedule or anything like that like I should. And I'll sometimes get up here and work so many hours that the daggone sun be going down before I eat. Today I posted about or I don't know, I need to stop dating my videos. Said I was gonna do that too. But I recently saw something on gotta cut the edges off. I recently saw something on, now see, just when I said I was prepared, This thing has little pieces on the side, which I would assume you cut off, but obviously I don't have no scissors right here. Well, since I'm not using glue, we'll just keep going. I recently saw something where a kid was bullied, and so they ended up in the hospital, and now the kids didn't get suspended, and the parents are suing or have sued. So I put it in here. Now the interesting thing about putting it in here is it puts it in here flat. So we'll see. I'm using the big side of the mirror, and I'm going to hold my lashes down on the end. So the kids that did it didn't even get suspended, and the poor kid that was bullied was hit in such a way that the baby ended up in the hospital, and now their life is impacted forever, and obviously the family, but they didn't mention that the kids have been suspended at all that did it. Now listen, this is why you shouldn't be putting your hands on people. Keep your hands to yourself. Did I just do that quick? Now I want to try with glue. Keep your hands to yourself. I understand that, you know, it's self-defense. In some situations, in this one, it was not. It had nothing to do with self-defense. It had everything to do with bullying. So my question is, parents, how are your kids bullies and you don't know? Now, I know that you can't know everything that your kids do before you try to come for me and get your feelings hurt. You can't watch everything that your kids do, but do you all talk to your kids about bullying and about the impact that it could have on somebody else's life? And more importantly, fighting these days, for whatever reason, is not like when we grew up. When we grew up, you had a fight, and then everybody walked away. Like, you didn't end up in an ambulance or nothing like that. You fought, and, you know, that's it. But you fought to defend yourself. I don't recall very many bullies. There were a couple. And when I would see it, I would say something, and my friends would say something. You know, I've talked about that before. But do you all talk to your kids and let them know that they could go to jail? They could potentially ruin the rest of their lives, because now this, you got to blow very carefully, because that is not sanitary at all. People that be blowing on their brushes and whatnot, just so you know. Kids are in court and catching cases, and the kid that is being bullied or beat up is ending up in a position where something happens to their brain, or they're hit the wrong way and things like that. And that's not okay. It's not. If that were your child, I'm sure that you'd be raising all kind of hell. You would be raising all kind of hell. Like, what happened? Why wasn't anybody watching? You know, you would have a lot of things to say, but suddenly, when it's somebody else's kid, and your kid is the bully, I don't really hear parents speaking out about what they're doing to ensure that their children are not being bullies. No, that's not cool. It's really not, because, you know, aside from, or in addition to, the other kid's life being impacted and ruined, you're going to lose your kid too. You are. You're going to lose your kid, because your kid is going to be sitting in some jail for the rest of their life, simply because they could not keep their hands to themselves for whatever reason. And I don't even know what the reasons are these days. What are the reasons that people are being bullies? That was fairly easy. that they are being bullies. And what is the reason why these schools are not doing anything? And are y'all going up to these schools and acting up? Because I would be. Put your hands on mine. And I'm going to be at the school, because that's not okay. There's going to be a whole problem with the whole meeting and everything, because it's not okay. It's not. Life is way too short and way too precious. And there's enough things that everyone has to deal with. And bullying really is played out. Is really played out. There's no reason for it. Keep your damn hands to yourself. And sadly, I saw one on the news where the parent was trying to tell the school that something was occurring, and the school wasn't reacting. Now, I just want to know how that's okay. How is that okay? When somebody, you know, people are getting in trouble for things that they didn't do, that are not even this big, and they get in more trouble than somebody that is putting their hands on some an innocent person for no reason. And schools are not being held accountable for their lack of response. When did that start being okay? When did that start being okay? And what is a teacher's responsibility exactly? What should they be doing? What should they be doing? Should they be seeing these things? Should they be monitoring these things? Should they be policing this? Do they have proctors at school anymore? You know, the people that walk around with their dangerous whistles to make sure that kids get to school on time and don't ditch and all that good stuff. Is that still a position within the school system? Because if so, what are they doing? I just don't understand how all these adults are around and nobody's doing anything, and it's getting to the point where kids are being harmed. To where kids are being harmed. I don't understand. I don't. And then, you know, more importantly, I would really like to know from some of the bullies. Since you're so bad, why don't you tell us why you're a bully? Since you're so bad, I mean, own it. Why don't you tell us why you're a bully? And furthermore, you know, when we see even the schools that have like shooters that come back or whatever, it's almost always an angry kid that's coming back because they were being bullied or something like that. Doesn't anybody care? Aren't y'all scared at all? Because I am. I don't bother people. I don't bother people because I don't need anybody coming back trying to, well, first, because it's not okay. Let's just be clear. That's the first reason. Because it's not okay to be a bully and to be bothering people. Because there's some adult bullies too. See it every day, all the time, especially on social media. And it's quite ridiculous. I would like to know why people are bullies. Why people are bullies. Why grown-ups are bullies. Why are kids bullies. And what is being done within these school systems to hold schools accountable, to hold parents accountable, and what things are being done to ensure that it doesn't happen. Like, is there, you know how we used to have the Dare Week and things like that? They need to start having a bullying week where they discuss bullying, discuss the consequences of bullying, because I just don't think that if these kids knew what the consequences were for them putting their hands on somebody, that they would continue to behave that way. I just don't believe that that's true. So something is happening where either they have no fear, and they don't believe that they're going to get in trouble, or they just don't care. But either way, as a community, we have to figure out what is going on and start putting something in place in these schools. Start talking to these kids and figuring out what the hell is going on before somebody's parent is on the news, before a kid is in a hospital and being airlifted, before a little kid is walking into jail, into the courtroom with shackles on, looking like a full adult. And then people want you to have sympathy for that child because they didn't know what they were doing. But what about, or they didn't know what they were doing, quote unquote. You know what you're doing. You didn't try to hit them that way, maybe, but you know that putting your hands on someone, and y'all, it, of course it went on fine. It went on nicely, but remember those pieces on the side. Oh, I have to get that off. Ew. That was stabbing me in my eye. Oh. Oh my God. Y'all know when y'all ear itching that you get that good scratch? That's how I feel with my eyeball right now. But they want you to have sympathy for their kid because their kid is, you know, in court being charged. And I'm not saying it should go one way or another because every situation is different. And it just altogether isn't right. So I don't have an opinion on how someone should, how that should go in court either way. That's not my place. I just want to know, how can we stop bullying? What can we do for it? And if you are talking to your children about bullying, are you talking to them, letting them know that it's not okay? Are you talking to them, letting them know that if they are being bullied, that they need to let you know so you can go up to the school for them and talk for them and talk to the parents? If the school does not respond and you have been in a situation, did you then go above that school? Did you know that schools want to keep it on being handled between the school, but if it is something that is really bad, did you know that that is actually something that you should be calling the police for? They're not going to tell you that, but that's the real answer. Because the rules on a school campus, that's not legal. It's not legal. What I mean by that is, if you want to take legal action further because it is a big deal, then you have to call the police. You have to go file an actual police report. Otherwise, the report that they file at school is just for the school. And I see too many cases where they're not making a big enough deal about it. Y'all, I hate greasy ears. Where they're not making a big enough deal about it. So before it gets to the point, because listen, let me tell you something. The last thing I care about is suing after something has happened to one of mine and then they are no longer the same. I don't care about suing at that point. You want your kid to be safe from the beginning. And y'all, my contacts is moving like on the cartoons. So I sure can't see. And now that I have practiced and I got the eyelash on, I am going to clean up my eyebrows while I finish talking with you guys. I told you guys it was going to be quick. Of course it was. Because I sat down fully prepared to, you know, stab myself in the eye and do a couple things. I have extra time. But as it relates to bullying, if you go to the school and they're not handling it the way that you think that they should, you need to either go to the district, you need to file a report. Are you asking to have a meeting with the parents? You know, it's a big deal, so don't sweep it under the rug. Talking about, well, I tried to. You don't just stop at one thing. It's your kid. You don't stop, actually. You keep going. Because, you know, God forbid, your baby don't come home one day or you get a call that they're being airlifted or something like that because the little bullies hit them and then they hit their head and then, you know, all of this other stuff happens. And as a result, then now your kid is the one impacted and suffering, or your kid is the one being bullied and they decide to defend themselves, and for whatever reason, they become like the Hulk, and they completely tear that whole kid up into 67,000 pieces, and then your kid is going to be in trouble if they hurt the kid that they're defending themselves from. They're the ones going to be in trouble. And how fair is that? I'm not really, I don't know. I grew up scared of my mom and with no desire to be a bully. And so most of us were those type of kids that we didn't want to do things to get in that type of trouble, because we didn't want to deal with our parents. We knew that there would be actual consequences. So perhaps if a kid is accused of being a bully and there's proof or whatever, that kid should immediately, I think that should be like a no-fault policy type of thing. I think that it should, if it can be proven, because unfortunately some kids lie, and if they find out that could happen, who knows what they would do. But if it can be proven, that kid should be suspended, or they should be, something should have to happen. There should be a consequence, and it should be a major consequence to the fact that it actually impacts the parent as well. So giving that kid Saturday school, if they're at that age they can have Saturday school, making them do community service and things like that. If they actually had a consequence, and that consequence included their parents being inconvenienced, I bet you their parents would care more and do more then, because now instead of enjoying your Saturday, now you're going to be at a homeless shelter helping to clean up or serving food or something like that. And it should not be no little cutesy community service where they go and clean up a school or nothing like that. No, let it be somewhere where they get to go and see that not everyone lives like them. Not everyone lives like them. Let it be something that inconveniences them, something that they don't want to do, and let it be something on their own time as well. Because, like I said, I bet you if that parent had to actually get up and do something, they would make sure that their kids stop bullying. So what we need to do is also start showing up at some of these school meetings that they have, down at the district. Start showing up at some of those meetings to be heard as a community. We need to. I think that would be a really good idea. I think that I am going to look into something like that in my cities and my surrounding cities. And in fact, if I draft a letter, no, I think I'll draft a letter first. So when I draft the letter, I will make the template available so that if any parent is dealing with bullying issues, or any parent or community leader or person in the community wants to reach out to your school system, we can all utilize the same template for the letter and send it to first the school to see what they're doing to ensure bullying does not occur, and then the district. But I definitely think that it is something that we should start paying more attention to and start being more proactive about, because I don't know if there are things that people are being proactive about. And what I mean about proactive is before you have to go up there and complain about, your child being impacted, before something happens to a child in that school or in that community. But what are we doing as a community across the world to say, hey, this is a problem and we need to fix this problem before it escalates into X, Y, and Z? But that's a really big thing, because I saw two of them recently, and they were the news was mostly talking about, oh, they're suing and they're getting this or they're getting that, and I'm like, that's after the point. I don't really care about suing if if my kid is not here or if my kid is impacted, I would prefer to have my kid whole than to be, you know, having whatever $1 million. I really don't care about any of that. I just want my kid to be okay. So what is it that you think that we can do in our community? And why do you think that these kids is so daggone bad? Because a lot of them, I don't know if it's something going on at home. I don't know if it's something in the water. But I do know that since as a community, people have stopped allowing you to correct their kids even or say anything to their kids, that these kids just feel like they could do whatever, and they actually are doing whatever. Because I can guarantee you that if there was something going on in the home and that was the reason why these kids was acting that way, that would be the first thing that was said. Because everything is not mental illness. Let's just be clear. I'm so over that being used as an excuse, because everybody has something that has impacted their life that changes the way they instinctively behave. But I'm over it. I'm over it. And y'all got to be over it too. Aren't you tired of cutting on your news and seeing that that's occurring? And why are we still getting mad? Why aren't we doing anything about it? I don't know. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. We need to fix this, because this is not okay. And I'm telling you now, if it's one of mine, it's going to be a whole problem. I'm just telling you. And I'm sure everybody feels that way about their kids. So if you feel that way about yours, you should feel that way about somebody else's too. And you shouldn't want your kid to be acting like that. You want to be visiting your child on cell block 9 because they couldn't keep their hands to themselves? I don't think so. I'm just saying. So on that note, that's our topic for today. I'm going to put some thought into this and definitely have this as something to add to my templates of resources that I provide to parents upon request. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with everyone. I'm most interested in your comments. And of course, please share, because this is going to be something that I'm going to make available on the Divine Purpose side. So if it is available, I want you all to use it. Y'all ain't using enough. You think that I would give up, huh? Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Not gonna do it. But I'm gonna keep thinking of new ways to make things happen. So, see you guys soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful, whatever it is where you are. Peace.